Well, fight fans, did you see it? Errol Spence v. Shawn Porter last night at the Forum. Sorry I have not been around for a minute. I've missed a few fights on time. I did catch up with a lot of those eventually. Tyson Fury the other week, just to name a fight. I didn't miss it. I just didn't see it on time. So I've been absent. Sorry about that. But let's get into this fight. Shawn Porter v. Errol Spence. Errol Spence wins by split decision. On Twitter, I picked Errol Spence. I actually picked him by UD. I knew just like all of you know that Shawn Porter was going to make this a rough, rugged fight, which is what he exactly ended up doing after the second round. Now, let's start with Shawn Porter. Some positives. I like the way that Shawn Porter came out the first two rounds. He was on his toes. He was boxing. And I was really hoping that he would have kept that discipline for most of the fight. But as we know, Shawn Porter's style is more of a come forward, duck low and swing style. I thought he was doing good work in those first two rounds, keeping the fight slow. And I think that's when he really landed his the majority of his punches. After that, when he began to turn into more to a brawl, I felt that he was not landing as many punches. I did like the straight right hand that Shawn Porter was throwing. I wish he could have connected more with that, but at least from the way I saw the fight, and I guess this would take me into my negatives, I think Shawn Porter was missing way too many shots. Was he hitting Spence? Yes, he was. He was connecting, yes, but he was missing way too many shots to my liking to get the decision in the end. Another negative I would say for Shawn Porter is that he was ducking way too low, allowing Spence, who's already taller than him, to put his weight on his back and kind of pressing down. And that's kind of where a lot of those low blows from both sides were really coming from. I guess that's pretty much it for Shawn Porter. For Errol Spence, the positives would be he kept his composure for most of the fight. He seemed to stick to the game plan of boxing and moving. I did like in the first couple of rounds the way that he cut off the ring on Shawn Porter. He wasn't letting Shawn Porter circle him and move around the ring. The negatives for Errol Spence is that he got into a war with Shawn Porter. A war that could have cost him, because Shawn Porter did put hands on him a few times in the fight. When he was connecting, he was putting good shots on Errol Spence, and I didn't like the ideal of Errol Spence being so gung-ho and wanting to knock out Shawn Porter, and I think that's what drug him into that war. I'd like to see him get back on his back foot when Shawn Porter wanted to turn him and get him against the ropes. I'd like to see him box more and keep Shawn Porter at bay instead of getting into that slugfest, which is what caused that cut over his eye. I don't remember if it was from an accidental headbutt, which it could have been, or if it was from a shot. But what I do know is that if he would have kept his distance and boxed, no matter how boring it would have made the fight, he wouldn't have had that cut. Look, it was actually a good fight. I don't know anybody who thought that it wouldn't be. I definitely was not one of those people. I enjoyed the fight from rounds 3 through 12. It was action packed. And it was exciting. And to me, it was good enough to see it again, because generally at this part of the video, I talk about what I would like to see next. What I would like to see next is I would like to see Errol Spence go up against Bud Crawford. But I don't think Terrence Crawford is trying to land that fight as much as he says he is. I read something, an article a couple of days ago that said something about Terrence Crawford may be able to fight Errol Spence, but in 2021. Listen, we don't want to hear that nonsense. Us boxing fans don't want to hear about a year and a half from now getting what may be a unification bout in the welterweight division. We don't want to hear that. If Terrence Crawford wants to fight Errol Spence, let him and Bob Arum make it happen, and let it happen now. But my suspicions tell me that is not going to happen. So what is next for Errol Spence? I say let's see a run back. Let's see a rematch of this Shawn Porter fight. It was a split decision, and I have no argument with it being a split decision. I actually think that the knockdown of Shawn Porter in the 11th round is what really sealed the split decision, or the fight may have been a little bit closer. But I think that Porter did good enough to warrant a split decision. I don't really particularly see anywhere that either of them will go. Terrence Crawford, Keith Thurman is hurt again. I don't see Pacquiao stepping in the ring with Spence. I mean, maybe he will, but I don't see that happening. But if I'm Errol Spence and I can't get Pacquiao and I can't get Terrence Crawford, then let's see the early part of next year him run it back again with Shawn Porter. Fight fans, sorry I've been away for so long that I missed the last few fights, but it's good to be back and talk boxing. As always, give me your thoughts. Tell me what you think. Thanks for listening. Catch y'all next time.